at the Bulb Africa. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn and also share my experiences as a woman in tech. Joy, you're muted.
Change. Okay, all right, thank you. So I think you're looking into your second screen. So obviously it seems like you're looking away, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. And for everyone who's just joining the call, my name is Joel. I'm with Tech for Them, and on the call is Mo from the Bulb. And today essentially is a conversation around, I think we have Jessica on the call, just joining. Um, Today is the International today is themed around the global theme, which is connected girls and creating a brighter future. And conversation really is around how do we create a future where every child and young person, regardless of their gender, has equal access to education. In this case, technology, both um, formal and informal training opportunities, as well as economic opportunities post that training, essentially ensuring that they are able to then annex the skill and that they've learned in creating some form of economic value within society. Very briefly, I will go on to read. Yeah, Missy, please, can you confirm that we have okay, Jessica? Yeah, apparently, I think I can see her. Hi, Jessica. Good afternoon. Hi, Jessica. Good afternoon. It seems the mic is still on mute.
Okay, she said she's setting up her mic.
Partnership strategy and operations across a lot of top tier startups across Africa. She is also a relationship and project management expert focused on building tech communities and initiating collaboration among entrepreneurs, employees, and delivery partners, and is passionate about delivering impactful solutions aligned to our organization's vision and strategic goals. In March 2021, our team launched the maiden edition of Jewels magazine, which aims to share stories of successful African women who run impactful tech projects behind the scenes to drive female participation in African tech ecosystem. She is something that the profile interestingly left out is that Modupe has previously been at Andela, at Flutterwave, like our latest, our most recent unicorn, where she had a very strategic role that was pivotal to setting up the business and helping it grow and scale to the stage where it is today. So thanks again, Modupe, for joining me in the call. Our second, thanks. Our second speaker is Jessica. I don't know if I'm Mike. Jessica, I don't know if you can hear us. Okay, fantastic. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So Jessica is a data scientist specializing in machine learning, data visualization, and natural language processing, NLP. She's also the founder of DataTech Space, a free online community for data professionals worldwide to connect and grow in their data journey. She transitioned into data science and analytics full-time because of her passion for getting insights from data. She did this successfully by leveraging e-learning resources, building awesome data projects, and applying personal branding principles. She currently consults on data-related projects, builds a data community, and enjoys writing about her data science project, which publishes regularly on a renowned publication called Towards Data Science. Our main goal is to provide data-driven solutions to real-world problems and simplify the data journey for aspiring data professionals. Thank you once again, Jessica, for taking our time to join us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hi, Joe. I think your network is frozen. So I think Joe just dropped off. He'll join us shortly.
Okay, sorry. I think I lost my connectivity. I don't know the last thing we all heard, but I just read Jessica's profile. I don't know if we all got that. But ultimately, I was saying it would be nice if we could get both speakers to take about 2 minutes each to introduce themselves to the audience. Ultimately probably highlighting on areas that we've left out of the profile. So I would go with Jessica first and then Modupe.
Okay. I just confirm you can hear me, Joel.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So basically, everything you said, it's basically what I'm about, to be honest. What didn't you say? For me, I've worked over 4 years in different industries. I don't like to move about a lot, but different things have happened in my life that have made me work in certain companies I've worked in and gotten to where I am today. Basically last year, I don't think you mentioned that was when I decided to take up data science. So that's when I decided to take up data science and analytics full time, and it's been really awesome. Really, I started by working on projects. I started by using online learning sites like Coursera. So one thing that probably people don't know, one thing people did not, probably people don't see is they see that, I decided to transition last year, but in the real sense, I've been doing a lot of all these things previously in my other roles that you mentioned, both in General Electric, in Seppa Petroleum. I worked back in Nigeria before I moved to Canada. So it's not something I just said, last year, let me just start. So it's something I've been doing in my previous roles. And because I love this so much, I decided to transition last year. So that's something maybe it doesn't come out in my bio, but yeah, I feel like she mentioned that. But yeah, that's all. Even Modupe can go next.
All right. Thank you very much, Jessica. Modupe. You're on mute, so we can't hear you more.
Hi guys, sorry about that. Like Joel said, my name is Modupe. Well, Joel basically said everything about me. I have a background in political science and international studies with a master's in organizational leadership. So I don't have any educational background in technology. So venturing into technology was actually by accident, and I enjoyed it when I did it. So right now I manage programs. I currently, I build and manage programs at the Bulb Africa. It's something that I have developed a knack for over the past couple of years because I like interacting with people. The roles I tend to pick generally, I like to create impact, try to create impact as much as possible and engage with people as much as possible. So that's why I went from outreach and partnerships in Andela to building a community in Flutterwave, and then I did a bit of government relations in OPE before the whole drama, which is where I met Joel.
Yeah.
I am at the Bulb. It's been interesting 2 years. We're about to be a year and a half. So it's been an interesting journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing it.
Interesting. Thanks, Mo. I literally almost forgot the OP experience. So you guys had pretty much dived into my first question, which was at what point did you decide to? I think you pretty much answered the question around at what point did you decide to make that transition into technology? But I think the next follow-up question would be, and maybe I'll start with you more, would be what's that experience been like? So from Andela to Flutterwave to Ope to Evolve, what's that experience, along, your career pathway? And maybe just to set, some bit of, background is the fact that there is an established gender gap in some places, maybe, in the Americas, in Europe, might be seemingly better than here in Africa. But it still exists where you have that huge gender gap. Some people say there is gender bias, but ultimately, what's been your experience?
It's been quite interesting. I say interesting because I finished my primary education here in Nigeria and started my secondary education here in Nigeria before I moved to the States. I spent a lot of my formative years in the States.
Hello?
Yeah, I can't hear.
I think we lost.
Anymore.
Okay, I think we lost that.
You hear me?
We lost you. We lost you at the point where you spent your formative years in the States.
Okay, so I spent, like I said, I spent my formative years in the States. So moving back to Nigeria, it was kind of like a whole, not necessarily a cultural change, but like a change in terms of how I interact with people, and how people relate with me. So I had to change that mindset because, one of the things that you experience while living abroad is that a lot of people, things are different. We have the infrastructure set up already to get things done. Over here, you're building things from scratch. My entire career background is all startups. I've never worked in a fully established organization, except maybe intern at UNECA for a couple of months. But I mean, my entire background was, I started my career at Andela, then I moved to Flutter, then I moved to Ope, and here I am at the Bulb. I keep telling myself that this is my last startup experience, but it's hard to build a business here in Nigeria. It's actually very difficult. It's hard. Like, there's time, it takes your blood, it takes your sweat, it takes your tears. But the gap, one of the things that I try to do is not to let the fact that I'm a woman get in the way of what I do. My aggressiveness comes as a shock to some people. Do you understand? The fact that I'm aggressive, a lot of people just kind of rubs a couple of people the wrong way. But then again, we're all about, it's business, not personal. It's let's keep it professional. It's all about getting the work done. It's all about building the business that you want to build. It's all about doing the impact that you want to do. So there always will be that gender gap. Even when I'm recruiting for my fellowship, I still experience that gender gap because I have to ask myself, how do I get more women involved in the program? Even employment here at the Bulb, how do we get more women involved? How do we hire more women? Because we want a gender balance. Like, I remember that at one point in time, I was the only woman in management when the Bulb started. But now we're trying to get more women involved. We're encouraging, we're always pushing. The thing about it, and the truth about it is that when I was at Andela, when we started the Women in Tech program at Andela, I spoke to a couple of ladies when we first started, and we still have that invisible glass ceiling where after school they have to get married. They are ginger to get married. They are ginger to start land their man or be taken care of. They don't want to build a career, or they are just influenced by your environment, what they see around them. How do you get past that? And the truth about it is that, let me tell you, when they say don't look at what people do on social media, do not look at what people do on social media. Focus on yourself, focus on your lane, do your thing. If you know that eventually you want to become the CEO of a startup, you will eventually get there. You just have to pay your dues. You just have to keep going at it. People will not everybody is going to support you, but eventually you still have to do what you want to do no matter what.
Interesting. Thank you very much. I mean, Mo, a lot in one. And in a lighter mode, when you say don't follow people on social media, I think I follow Jessica, and it's an exciting mix of work and work-life balance, ultimately. But I mean, there's always something new, she's doing, and it's been extremely interesting. So I mean, Jessica, how would you say, what were the earlier choices, ultimately, that helped you to decide that data science was it for you? How did you make that bold choice? Because I would say it's a bold one. One, two would be, what's the experience been so far?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. You see, when Modupe was talking, I was just smiling because a lot of things she said was very, very on point, right? So for me, it's similar to what Modupe said, right? Early on in my career, right? Not for my career, like ever since maybe my secondary school, I've always been someone that once I want something, it's only God that will stop me from getting it, right? That's the mindset I've always had. For people that follow me on Twitter, you see me tweet with my secondary school mates, things like that. And they call me things like whiskey and stuff. It didn't just happen overnight, right? A lot of the things, there's sleepless nights people don't see behind the scenes. So that's one of the things I would say influenced my early career choices, because I'm not someone that just says, oh, I want something and then I sleep on it. No, as long as that idea is there, it stays with me till it's accomplished. So that's one of the things that helped me over the years. Some other things that I would say have influenced my career choices. So going into, I said my career in Nigeria was mostly in oil and gas. Why was that? Because in my secondary school, in my SS2 specifically, I got into a program called, similar to what Tech for Dev does. It was called Vision 2020 by Leonardet. I think the program is still on. So I know there in Nigeria had this huge Vision 2020 plan. 2020 is past. I don't know if that was accomplished, but in a bid for that to happen, this was back in 2008, 2009. They brought a couple of us together from different secondary schools in Lagos, and they said, let's help them and teach them about what the oil and gas business is about. And that was when I said, okay, I was going to go into oil and gas. So right from then on, studying engineering was because of that program. Going for my master's in petroleum engineering was because of that program, because I knew I wanted to get into oil and gas. And then luckily, later after my master's, I got a job as a trainee engineer, which is similar to what Modupe was saying about being the only woman in our field. I was working offshore. I was the only girl out of about 80-something men offshore in the middle of the deep blue sea, no other person. But did I let that stop me? No. You go to previous companies I've worked in, you mentioned my name. They knew me as, in some places they knew me as Jessica, in some places they knew me as Osas, which is my Nigerian name. It always rings a bell because I'm not someone that keeps quiet. I tell people I make noise a lot. I don't make noise just for the sake of it. I make noise because I know if you silence yourself, nobody listens to you. Nobody really would care, to be honest. So one thing for me has always been being very vocal. It didn't just sorry. It didn't just start last year. It didn't just start 2 years ago. It started right from my secondary school days, right from university days. So for me, being very intentional, speaking when meetings go quiet, when they're not expecting anybody to say anything. That's when you hear my voice, because that's when people actually listen. What else? Sleepless nights. Then going into data science and analytics. I said earlier when I was introducing myself that it was something I loved doing in my previous roles. So I used to use Excel a lot. There was a manager that used to tell me back in step class, that this is my Excel skills, that I'm actually not meant to be doing something else. So it was something I loved doing. So when I decided to go into tech full time, because I saw a newspaper headline recently that says tech is the new oil, right? And that's the truth. A lot of companies are pivoting into doing a lot of things with technology. There's no company you go to that you don't use one software or the other, right? So for me, it was a no-brainer. And because I really loved doing this thing in my previous job, I decided, okay, let me take this up full time. Was that easy? No, it wasn't. I would not lie to anybody. There are a lot of sleepless nights along the way. I was working full time as well while trying to transition, right? I would, after my shift or my work day, I would stay maybe an extra 5 hours, 6 hours, learning some things that I didn't know, learning to code, learning to work on my projects, things like that. when I started releasing projects, and people would be like, "Oh, nice work, blah blah blah." They didn't see the 10 hours I didn't sleep for. They didn't see the 24 hours I was awake. So for me, those things I would say influenced me. And please, just let me know what time frame there are for the questions so that I can time myself, because I tend to talk rather
So I
longer
guess
than
you have
usual.
1 more minute to go.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I'm good actually. I'm done.
Okay.
Further follow up, I would answer. Yeah.
All right, thanks. I mean, it's interesting to hear a lot of, you know, similarity in the experience. I hear a lot of hard work, sleepless nights. I hear a lot of, self-determination, especially starting out in environments that were male-dominated. I think my next question is pretty much going to, center around a little bit around the work you do in connecting girls and women and creating that brighter future. I know the both of you independently have different programs that are currently going on, and it'd be nice for you to kind of share some more insight into what the program is about, and how are you really working towards intentionally creating brighter futures for girls and women. So I'll start again with you, Jessica, and then go back to Modupe.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Honestly, that's a really big question. So for me, right, I would say, how am I doing that? Just from the last question you asked, I would say my life is a lesson to, I think, every young girl out there. Me coming to speak at this event is one of the ways I'm doing that, because if people that follow me on Twitter, people that follow me on Instagram, they know I don't like to hide things. If I see something working for me, I'm very quick to share it. Why? Because I feel there's nothing, it doesn't take anything for me to share knowledge, it doesn't take anything for me to share your light with the world. So for one way I do that is for me to use my platforms to share my journey, share things I'm working on, and that way it reaches people like even beyond my immediate network. Another thing I do is with DataTech space. Obviously, we have the program is open to both men and women. Honestly, it's not just really just women. But one thing I like to do is when I see initiatives that maybe women get towards women, there are a lot of them now that are focused on helping women in tech, women in STEM, women in different industries. I like to share that, and I love what Tech for Dev does. See me sharing your initiatives with the Tech Stack Fellowship. I love that because it's a way for you to make sure that women are basically, you bridge that gap, that gender gap that there is in the workplace, that there is in the STEM industry. What other ways do I use? Mentorships as well. So I have a couple of people that not so many. But I have a couple of people, women, some like maybe one or two guys that I also have personal relationships with. These people, I didn't know them before, but when I started my journey, a couple of people reached out to me to say, oh, I'd like you to mentor me, things like that. I don't take mentees now because for me, I like to focus on like a small group of people first and then watch them grow. So I do that for people. For people that come to meet me subsequently to ask for mentorship, especially if they're doing data science or anything data related, I bring them into data tech space. And the way we work in data tech space is once you have an issue, we have like a large Discord group. Currently, we're about 200 on there. We have about 400 plus people, over 400 plus people registered that are still going to come on the platform. So what we do is you have issues. So we have different channels. So whatever you're learning at that point, if it's Python, if it's Tableau, if it's Microsoft Excel, you have an issue, you're trying to code or write a code script, you have an issue, just bring it to the team. You have over 200 people that are willing to come help you. So that way, you don't get people stuck. Because I had that issue personally when I started with this journey. I started coding. I started working with a lot with on projects, right? That required me to do a lot of coding with Python, and it used to be a struggle because I didn't have that support system. People around me, a lot of my friends were not into that. We're not in that field, so there weren't so many people I could go ask, like when I had an issue. And it's always frustrating when you're trying to do something, maybe write a code, do something, right? And you just get very stuck and there's nobody to ask. For me, I was always referred to Google. Google is my best friend. But there are people that aren't that, I don't know, maybe so I won't say resourceful, and they prefer to lean on someone to help. So that's one way we do that in data tech space. So You have issues, you bring it to the group, we look at it together, we solve it. You have interviews. I've done that with a couple of people that will have maybe job interviews and they need to prepare for it. I just go get on the call with them, get a call with me, we talk about the interview, talk about the role to help them get better prepared. So for me, I don't have to charge for it because I feel where I'm coming from, a lot of people have helped me on my journey. So it's just a way for me to give back. Not necessarily trying to exploit people, not necessarily doing that, right? So yeah, these are a couple of ways I help with that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's like a whole lot of, like I say, a community there to support other people, a number of resources. Maybe after the call, the session, we'll probably get some of those resources and links and try to share with everybody who's attended the session, so that everyone who's interested in data science as a career can basically join your communities. More.
Yeah. Okay. When we started Tech Jewels, we launched Tech Jewels earlier this year on International Women's Day magazine. So we did this because one of the things that we're trying to do with Tech Jewel is not just, say we're building a community of female engineers or female tech enthusiasts, and we host a bunch of masterclass and then that's it, and then the community jumps off and that kind of thing. What it is to build a community generally is to find out what's my unique selling point, what does the community need, and how do we engage the ladies, how do we engage them in such a way that it's not necessarily an inconvenience to their current lifestyle, at the same time they enjoy and they keep coming back. Tech Jewel, the magazine is basically, I would share, Joella had shared a soft link with you, a link with you, I would share it again. Basically talks about, we interviewed 5 women in technology who have been in technology the past couple of years, who work behind the scenes. I enjoy working behind the scenes, I don't like being out there, but we interviewed these women. These women are top of their careers. We interviewed them, we had them talk about their journey and the challenges they face and what they currently do. What Tech Jewel is about is finding out how we can a regular tech enthusiast, how we can solve problems, how women can solve problems, how we can get our founders, our investors to also invest, how we can create a community that not just solve problems, but also we are creating founders. These founders are female, are women, are African, are in Nigeria, not just Nigeria, but across Africa. We are solving problems. We're not just creating startups. We're not just doing masterclasses. We're not just, we're building an organic community and we're actually impacting lives. We at the Bulb, we are impact-driven organization. We want to be able to make sure that whatever we're doing is our output quality is top-notch, and whatever we're doing is we're actually seeing the difference. We're actually seeing progress. We're actually, we're actually supporting the goal to close the gap between women and men within the tech community. So that's it in a nutshell.
All right. Thanks. Maybe also for people on the call, maybe you could also put it on the chat panel, the URLs like Tech Jewels, also for Jessica, so people can get from there, depending when we send you at the end of the call. So I was going to ask, so Mo, what would you say is necessary to do? Because like Jessica said, back there was the Vision 2020 program, and there was a similar program she was part of, but you still see that there's a continuously low participation of women within STEM, and as well as computer science related, ICT related learning tracks. So when you do a call for application, you still see a lot of men apply, whereas you see a lot of women holding back. What would you say can be done to further increase, as a woman, you're in the space, as women in the space, what can you say can be done to further increase participation of girls and women in STEM and in ICT globally? Or, in Africa, let's use Africa as a context. Starting with you, Mo.
All right, I can go ahead and start. So, yeah. So over like my experience with women, I've realized that women are Joel, I love you, but women are actually really smart. Way smarter than guys. They have a knack for putting things together faster than guys. I work with men. Men do not know how to multitask. I could be having a conversation with someone,
Okay.
typing, and then he has lost track of me. Hold on 1 second. Let me just quickly finish real quick. And I have to wait till he's done typing or doing whatever he's doing to continue the conversation. To get more women involved in technology, I've discovered that
Okay, seems like we lost more.
you need to do is understand. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, you're back. I mean, I hope you don't. I mean, this network wasn't built by a man. It doesn't seem to be multitasking well. Okay, you're frozen again.
Working with other women, so women who enjoy working in diverse environments. Over the past couple of years, I have, tried creating women only. So when I was at Andela, I created women only fellowship programs so that it can give women, especially women who are shy, young ladies who are shy and who are just coming out of their shell, who are unsure of themselves. Say female only, so relate to other women, building a relationship with not just within themselves, they're building a relationship with their mentors, and they're slowly growing to become the experts that they want to be. So I find that also helps. And then the thing about it is that women, depending extras too, they just want to be heard. Once they have that is being the knowledge is shared. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the network is not on our side, but I think I pretty much talked about maybe I'd say two things. The last thing was around women liking to be heard and creating environments where they can share the knowledge and share their learning. I think the second one was around deliberately creating programs that are focused on women and encouraging women, creating safe spaces for them to participate within the tech industry. I don't know if that's correct. Yeah, okay. All right, thanks. Jessica.
Yeah, so Joe, if I get your question correctly, right? You said what's responsible for women not participating, right?
More like how do we get more women? How do we get more girls and women to participate? Yeah, from a continental standpoint, how do you get more people to participate in tech?
Okay, so I would say that's a tough question, really, because for me, right, just similar to what Mo said, women have a lot of talent, right? But I think, again, when they say charity begins at home, it starts with a cultural mind shift. That's what I would say, because the way I am, or how something that helped me in terms of in my data analytics or my data science, what I do is to ask why. So there's this 5 whys principle until you get to the root cause. And what I see, or what I've seen over time, because it also happened to me as well, is the fact that right from the home, which is where the girl child really starts with, where she starts to grow from, there's that mindset of, as a woman, you have to, or as a girl, you have to shrink yourself. You don't have to be so out there so that you find a man to marry. And it's really annoying. I grew up also with that mindset a bit still for me, but for me, I don't really answer people. I don't send. I do what I want to do. So even from the home growing up, my mom always taught things like make sure when you start to work, don't immediately buy a car. Like check on the streets for a while so that your husband will see you on the road before you now decide to buy a car. I don't blame her. I love my mom so much. She's late now, but But that was kind of mindset we all grew up with. But I'm happy that that's changing a bit. That's why I say it starts from that cultural mindset. Because if growing up, the girl child is taught over and over again that she has to shrink herself, she has to play a very low key status in society for her to end up with a good man. Sorry, excuse me, I have to drink some water. Her to end up with a good man, then we're really going nowhere with this talk of gender equality, right? But one thing I would say is, in order to solve that, what Tech for Dev is doing is a very good program, but I think it also has to go right. The team is doing it for women 18 years and above, but for me, I also think there has to be that shift to starting from when the girl child is really young. So right from primary schools, let's keep telling them that they can be more than just a wife. They can be more than just someone that takes care of children at home, or someone that goes into maybe a career like all careers are good, right? But that mindset of a woman is just good for beauty or good for being a showpiece for a man has to change. So taking this program to primary schools, taking this program to societies or regions, right, where women are taught that would really help a lot. Obviously, it's good that what Tech for Dev is doing, but I think also taking it back to primary schools, taking it to secondary schools really helps. Because for me, that mindset changed for me in secondary school when I went for that Vision 2020 program. Yeah, I saying before that, but for me, I got that mindset because I spoke, someone that came to speak to us in that program, Anita Moile. I still remember her name. This is over 12 years now. Because she came that day to class, was a boot camp kind of thing for 1 week. She came that day and then she waved a card to us. It was a platinum card. Everybody likes money, right? If you want to tell someone, if you want to get someone's attention, you see on social media people doing giveaways, it's money. I won't lie, everybody likes money to be honest. I like money as well, but I like for my passion to drive where money comes from. But she waved that gold card to us. This was back in 2009. She said she has this card, it's unlimited because she chose a career path in this, blah, blah, blah. She didn't allow anybody use that to just being a wife or a mother. No offense to anybody that wants to be a housewife. There are people that are very good at doing that, managing homes, which is good. But I feel if you have something more to offer the world, if you think you want to go after a career, whether in tech, whether in STEM, whether in any industry at all, you shouldn't just let you maybe getting married or the quest for finding a man restrict you, right? It should be something you work partnership together, find a way to make it work right from your home, find a way to talk to the person, to your life partner, to say, oh, I want to pursue this, and you guys work together with it, right? So that's what it is for me. I'm not going to leave anybody. Do I have someone in my life, a partner? Yes, I do. Does it support me? Yes, it does, right? So for me, I don't think it should be something that should shrink women, which I see it happening a lot. Because a lot of people come to send me DMs saying they're looking for career re-entry paths because they took some time off to take care of their kids, which is fine, right? But again, I feel if you want to do that, let the man know from the onset. Let people around you know what you're about, right? And another way I think can help is what Tech for Dev is doing. You guys, your team hosts this Women Tech Stars Open Day every month. I see a lot of women coming to talk, coming to inspire other women, which is really, really good. So these ways are helping. But again, I think you should start also from the very early stages, right from primary school, secondary school level. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jessica. So, I have 2 more questions to go. And, before we then open up the floor, to allow people ask questions. One would be, again, because today is an international day and globally, we're talking about how connecting girls together through digital skills and technology is going to help to create a brighter future. How bright is this future? How bright is this future you see, when you involve women? What difference does involving girls and women in tech ecosystem? How much growth do you think that technology ecosystem can experience? And, as a whole, globally, Nigeria and Africa, when you include women. So I'll start with you, Jessica, and then we go back to Modupe.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to piggyback from what Modupe said. Modupe said something about her noticing that women do a lot of things better than men. And there used to be this saying where people used to say something like, what a man can do, a woman can do better. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, because there are some things that I know that I cannot do as a woman in terms of, because of the way I was built, right? You call me to come lift 50 kg bag of rice. Now, I will tell you I cannot do it. I'd rather call either my dad or my brother to help me. But for me, I would just say everybody's unique in their own way, right? You hear Modupe talk about things like multitasking, and she says she noticed a lot of women do that better. Which, yes, I agree, because I'm a woman. I do that a lot. But I don't think I won't say there are some men that probably also do that. Maybe not a lot, right? I'm not here to bash men. For me, when the argument always comes up about gender equality or feminism, I'm not on the side where I have to bash men to make women look better. I don't do that. So for me, it's all about embracing our uniqueness. And what uniqueness do women bring to the workplace? What uniqueness will women bring to the tech industry? One thing I would say is, you see women that have, it's something called the woman's touch, right? Women have like an eye for aesthetics. Women are good at planning things, right? So for me, there's a whole lot we can offer, right? It's just for, I think a lot of us have to just rise up to that occasion. That's what I would say. Because I don't believe that someone would disqualify you from any position because you're a woman. I don't subscribe to that. That's just the mindset I go with. I believe if you're good enough with what you do, if you can be vocal, if you can speak about your accomplishments, if you can speak about what you can do, then the opportunities are endless. In terms of creating brighter futures, when it comes to women in the workplace, definitely there are a lot of things women can do. I see a lot of women doing wonderful things in product management when it comes to tech. I see a lot of women in cybersecurity. Confidence was here the other day when we had the Women's Open Tech Space Day in February, doing wonderful things in cybersecurity. You see Modupe here talking to us, doing wonderful things with different companies, Rocky, Andela, Flutterwave. These are big guys in Africa, right? So for me, it's the opportunities are limitless for women when it comes to coming into the tech industry. What we can do is a whole lot, right? I also feel when it comes to women in the workplace, we have this ability to bring people together. So the reason you see women rather in at home playing a very huge role in putting the families together, raising kids, right, is because of how the qualities God has given us, right? A lot of us are good at planning. I tell my partner is a very spontaneous person. He's not a person that, he wants to do something, he just does it. But for me, I don't know if you see my board behind me. That board is my go-to. Like, I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at that board because everything I need to do is on there. And until I tick every box, I'm not done for the day because I like to plan, right? So you bring a woman like me into your industry, your company, for instance, you definitely you are sure that whatever products you are planning, whatever project you are planning, I'm going to ensure that it's done to the letter, right? So again, that's for me. There are a lot of things we can do, and that's one of them. So I'll just leave the floor to Modupe to answer the rest. Yeah.
All right. I mean, thank you very much. I think that you stylishly just said, women, would help to make our businesses bigger and, deliver better quality. But I mean, tech, I totally do agree with you that women are quite strategic when it comes to planning and executing, with success. Modupe, you're on mute.
Keep forgetting. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with something. A listener, Olamide Olutade, she said women are getting into the tech space. I don't know if it's a he or she. Apologies. Women are getting into the tech space. The opportunities are just limited. I have just been applying for internship opportunities for some time, and I haven't gotten any so far. Now I do not know how to go about my tech career. Please advise. Truth about it is that a lot of the system, especially in Nigeria, is not set up to support women at all. I don't believe it's set up to support women at all. you have to fight 10 times as hard to get to where you want to be. You have to put in twice as much effort. You have to, and one thing I noticed, or one thing I realized, is that a lot of us, a lot of Nigerians, I'm talking about Nigerians right now, I don't know about any other country, but a lot of us fail to actually do research. We have the opportunity to shine. We have the opportunity to succeed in whatever career path that we choose to do. Truth about it is that a lot of research has to go into what we're doing. A lot of effort has to put. And one thing I also realize is that a lot of us do not know how to sell ourselves. Finding the right opportunity for yourself has to do with you also being able to communicate and sell yourself to the employer, to not just your employer, but also to the people around you, to the community around you, so that you're leaving an impression in the mind of others, so that when it comes to when things are happening and they're like, oh, who is the first person I can reach out to, first point of contact, because not only have you put in that effort, but you've also left an impression in such a way that you've positioned yourself so that you're the first port of call if anything is needed for whatever that is needed, right? Nigeria is not set up for an average woman to succeed. That's just the truth about it. I'm not going to lie. I have been lucky in this life. I have been lucky with my background. I have been lucky, that I have had a soft landing moving back to Nigeria. But a lot of women do not have it easy. And, as leaders in this ecosystem, Jessica, Joel, as leaders in this ecosystem, you've been doing amazing things with DataTech space. You've been doing amazing things with Tech for Dev. It's our responsibility to find out to, create initiatives that would support these women, to women who are not as privileged as us, who do not have the same background as we do, to be able to grow in their career. The question is, how do we do it? Now I know, Joel, I know you are always actively, in a grant space. You're always actively, in the partnership space, but that's just you. Do you understand? You're finding ways to impact these women, and Nigeria is overpopulated. We can't touch everybody, but we can do the most that we can do. Every little drop, every little step counts. It may seem like we're not doing anything, but I kid you not, the participants in each of these programs appreciate it way more than you usually think, because they're like, sometimes when people are like, oh, thank you ma, thank you ma, what you've done is so good. I'm like, first of all, I'm not ma. Mo is fine. Your mom is ma. Mo is fine. Do you get? But it's your responsibility to pass the buck, to those who don't have the same privilege that you do, to try and upskill them, to try and use whatever resources, if you can, to help upskill these women, to add just, a drop in the ocean. So yes, women can shine. I believe it. I know so. I'm a woman. We can all shine. Do you understand? We just have to work together.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jessica. Thanks a lot more for sharing, insights into your personal experience, in terms of, how the journey has been, as well as, some tips to, possibly succeeding within technology ecosystem. To allow me this question, I think that, we totally agree with you that the number of opportunities are limited. However, I know that within our program, I'm sure within most Tech Jewels program, we have a placement opportunity, or opportunities rather, where we have a number of signed up internship partners. Typically, it works through programs where people graduate from our programs get placed on internships. But please feel free to mail us. I'm sure my colleagues would drop in an email. You can send an email to with your resume. We could have a chat with you around what your technical competency is, and essentially we can then take the conversation forward. Would be glad to support you around securing an internship opportunity. So I think it just dropped an email, send an email to enquiries@techfordev.com, and I just saw a message that you had applied for tech for dev or tech. I can see tech driving. But either way, please send an email. We're glad to engage with you. Thanks, Sheila, for your comments around validating the fact that the gender divide also does exist in Kenya, where our Women Texas program currently runs in 5 African countries right now, Kenya being one of those countries, and we're definitely going to be excited to engaging, with women in Kenya, also having a lot of focus group conversations, learning more about how the ecosystem is structured, and how well to further, ensure that more women learn more opportunities. So right now is question and answer. Before we take, the final comments from our speakers, we're open to questions. So if you have a question, you could either type in the chat box or please use the raise hand button, and then we can go in that order.
Okay. Joel, do you mind if I just say something about this person, Olamide Olutade? I think
yes,
it should be a she,
please.
Right? So she said, similar to what Mo said, in terms of opportunities being limited to women. Something I would say about that is this, right? Mo is right. One of the reasons I left Nigeria was simply because of this reason. Mo was from the diaspora to Nigeria, which is good. I really
You were from Nigeria into diaspora.
I'm from Nigeria to diaspora, and honestly, on my Twitter, I won't lie. Every time someone comes to tell me about tech opportunities, there are two things I tell them. Look beyond your current your location, right? Look beyond Africa. Secondly is if you're not seeing anything where you are, I tell them to move out, right? Not everybody can afford to do that, right? Which is fine. But the world is shifting dramatically to this work from home, remote working kind of thing. I know a lot of Nigerians that have gotten jobs right in Nigeria with international companies. We talk of the Microsoft, we talk of the Googles. There are a lot of them out there. Still, they're living in Nigeria, right? But they're getting these opportunities. Now, how are they doing that? Positioning. Most said it. For me, you see me talking on social media. I love to do it, right? It does. Social media has a way of making you connect to people beyond your current locality. And on Twitter, there's a big tech community there. You will not imagine. I do a lot of data stuff, dashboards. I'm connected with people that in basically every continent in the world. So if you mention a continent now, I tell you someone I know personally that is there because I've consciously done that. I use my LinkedIn a lot. Go to my LinkedIn profile. The link is, I think they posted it. My LinkedIn profile is very awesome. I tell people that I'm not trying to hide it because I consciously built it over time. So anybody comes to meet me to tell me how do I do this, I just tell them, go look at my LinkedIn. Everything you see there is the same thing I have on my resume. At the moment, I'm looking to transition to full-time roles. Just before coming to this meeting, I had an interview with a Fortune 500 company. They are number 10, not number 10. I don't want to mention the company. They are top 10 on that list. How did I get that? Obviously my resume is not out there, but my LinkedIn basically has everything on my resume. So things like this, positioning, branding, letting people know what you're about. On the same LinkedIn, this same week, I got someone sent me an email, not an email, person already a connection, right? She's based here in Canada, but it was for a job, a manager role with one of the big tech firms. Mention any of the big tech firms, one of them, right? Because she saw stuff I do, projects I worked on, and she was like, "Oh, are you interested in bringing your talents over to our company?" And before I could even answer, I checked my email, and then she has referred me like immediately without me even saying, "Oh, I'm interested or not," right? So I feel if you're not seeing in your locality, you're in Kenya, you're in Nigeria, you're in South Africa, look out there. The world is going remote now. I won't say thanks to COVID, but COVID has made a lot of companies to start looking for remote people providing remote opportunities. So please do that. If you need more guidance, a lot of my links are already posted. Send me a message on LinkedIn. I connect to people there a lot. Send me a message on, I think you can send me on Instagram or something. I'll try to answer as many people as I can, right? So definitely, please, don't just limit yourself to your current locality. Look out there. There are a lot of roles out there, right? Please do that.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Bamidele also said, I think networking is also essential in finding such opportunity, and that just also speaks to what Jessica has just spoken about in terms of using our social media handles and basically positioning yourself out there to ensure that you're available to be found. I think pretty much, that's what, beyond, connecting with people, also position yourself out there to ensure you're available to be found. Um, I don't know if there are any more questions. I don't see any hands up, as well as no questions within the chat panel. While we wait for more questions, go on to say, a very big thank you to Mo, a very big thank you to you, Jessica, for being part of the session today. I think that from time to time, it's important that we continue to invite you back to speak to people within our community and people in general. I see the questions coming in. Yes, we're going to take them. And it's really awesome seeing what you're doing, enabling other women and advocating for inclusion of more women, in society. So to move from an organizational standpoint, where you're building programs, and to Jessica, where, from a personal standpoint, you're trying to ensure that you can enable as many people as possible, and then also bringing in that community network effect where you're supporting each other. It would really be nice to continue to engage with you as, we grow our Women Tech Stars program, and as we continue to increase our investment in women in tech on the continent. I think we have some more questions now. I'm just going to read them out. A lot of people saying thank you, Jessica. More. Ajara Amadu has said, how can one get an internship as a new entrant in tech? I guess Mo or Jessica. Anyone's free to take this.
So when young people like yourself, Ajara, come to me and tell me that they're interested in interning in technology, my question to you would be, what have you done? Not only what exactly do you want to do, I would ask you, what do you enjoy doing, and what have you done to take steps to get to where you want to be, right? So, for example, now, if you come to me and tell me that you want to be, you want to intern as a software engineer, I'm not just going to place you on a software on a team and say, okay, you want to intern, I'm going to place you on a team. No, I'm going to ask you, what have you done? What exactly do you want to do? And what kind of career are you trying to build in software engineering? What languages are you interested in, and that kind of thing? So that way it's easier to place you in with a team that you can actually learn from. I tend to ask these questions because in Nigeria is a hustle ground. Africa is a hustle ground. Everybody is hustling just to make paper so that they can put food on their table, and that's the truth about it. But again, the fun part about technology is that, do you actually enjoy doing what you want to do? Do you understand? How can you build a career and enjoy building a career so that it doesn't look like you're slaving for your future, but you're actually enjoying building something? So these questions I find have allowed me effectively place interns in teams within my own organization. Like, I had an intern who, sent an email during lockdown, and now she interned 6 months. She interned around the team and around the company 6 months, and now she's working full time as a business development analyst for one of our startups. So she took that initiative. She said she was interested in this. We leveraged her strength. We expanded her knowledge on a couple of things, and she came up at the top, and we retained her. I have a young gentleman who also did the same thing, and now he's a full business analyst on my own team right now. So that way, once that, again, it all boils back to learning to sell yourself, and also that communication. If you cannot communicate what you're interested in or what you want to do, it makes it difficult for people to actually place you or give you the internship opportunity that you want. So, Ajara, I hope that answers your question. I mean, talking to you, Joel can always share, technically always share my information. If it's something you want to talk about further, I'm open to having a more offline conversation with you to do that.
All right, thank you very much, Mo. Jessica, I don't know if you want to share from an intern. I know you touched on it a little bit, but maybe just some more on how do you think, within this, COVID scenario that we're in, and from a global standpoint, how do you think that women and young people can secure internship opportunities?
Yeah, so honestly, you see Miss Marie when she's talking, she's hitting the nail on the head, to be honest, right? The way the tech industry is now, tech has been in vogue for a while, but I think it's getting more prominent amongst I'm still in the younger generation, right? I'm just 26, but it's gaining more interest with the Gen Zs, right? Those maybe still in universities coming into like a full career path. So similar to what Mo said, right? I tell people, you're trying to do something, you can't just keep mute about it. There are a lot of people that are fighting this thing they call Imposter Syndrome, because they feel, I really don't know what it is. I think I fought it a long time ago, to be honest, right? I used to be a noisemaker right from primary school, but I think coming into tech, it happened to me as well, where I was scared of how people would perceive things I was doing. But I think it just starts with you taking that first leap, right? You hear more talk a lot about asking people what they do, right? And a way for you to show that, whether you're a software engineer, you're in cybersecurity, you're in data science or data analytics, a way for you to show that without even speaking, right? Have a portfolio. You're a software engineer, you're trying to learn something, even if it's hello world. Thing you write in any programming language, you print hello world, even if it's that, put it somewhere. Have a blog that you show things like that. You can have a mini website, you can have something small that you build, because that speaks a whole lot more volume than you saying, okay, I can write in C#, or I can code in JavaScript or HTML or CSS. What people want to see is, what can this person do? And I realized that early on in my career path, even before coming into tech full time, right? I realized that a whole lot. Nobody likes to listen to people that just come to talk, aspire to whatever, to this, right? You tell me that, I want to see what you've done, I want to see your track record. So it's the same thing. You're coming into want to intern, right? People want someone that can add value. Even as an intern, you want someone that can add value to your organization. How can you show you can add value? It's by doing these things, positioning yourself, putting your project out there. I use LinkedIn a lot. I tell people, go look at my LinkedIn. Like, I don't have to say so much. Even from my LinkedIn, I had people coming to me to say, oh, I want to. That's when I started doing consulting on projects. You see people that have to put on hold, that want me to work on projects with them and pay me for it, because I have other things that I'm working on, right? But LinkedIn really helps a whole lot. Please use your LinkedIn well. What else? Have that portfolio. I think Tech for Dev has put a couple of links on my different websites. I didn't build those websites in one day. They're different. Okay, I can't build my website in a day, funny enough. But I was able to put that together because I already had different things I was working on. I had a blog already. I had different projects I had all over the place. So it was just a way for me to consolidate all that. And you don't have to code. Even I'm a data scientist, right? I'm not an HTML, CSS person, but I had to learn how to do these things, to be honest. And there are no code website builders now. You don't have to learn how to code to build a website for yourself. Just go to, I use GoDaddy for mine. There's Wix, there's Square, there are one-page websites you can build just to showcase what you can do. And that speaks a whole lot more volume. I'll be willing to listen to someone, if I want to give someone a job, that can show me what they've done in their own little way, than someone that just comes to tell me I want an internship and has nothing to show for it. So please just try to do that. You do something small, and then from there, it just takes flight from there, really. Yeah. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you very much once again, Jessica. Thanks, Modupe. I think the insights, are on point. And there's just a lot of you guys have been able to share a lot of complimentary points. And I really hope that the audience had a good time, listening in. Beyond the links, we would also send out an email to everyone who's registered with links and recording of the session. So it will also be on our YouTube channels. Once again, thanks to everyone for taking out time to attend today's session. I think it's really been interesting just learning from the experiences of Jessica and Modupe in terms of how they've grown in technology and sharing practical steps to also achieving success within technology. Ultimately, we're happy to be part of that drive to ensure that we're investing in encouraging more women to be in tech. And if you follow our handles, if you check our website, you'll learn more about our Women Tech Stars program, which has the fellowship, bootcamp, the open day, and the masterclass programs. So kindly look through to see which of the programs you're more aligned with. We're going to be launching a revised site for the Women Tech Stars program soon. That basically helps to ensure that we have continuous registration open, and you can select the cohorts and programs you want to be part of. Once again, thanks to everyone. I think just before the website is womentechstars.org. I think our team just put it up on chat panel. Thank you very much to everyone. Thanks to everyone who's taking our time to listen to the session. We hope that you become a part of our community and continue to follow the work we do and the work that our partners do. And then we look forward to engaging further with you. So our panelists again, Modupe, Jessica, thanks for making our time today to join this session. We look forward to having you back over the next 10 years of the Women Tech Stars program. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.